Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Why Todd and Julie Chrisley now have hope for early release. Todd and Julie Chrisley now have hope for an early release, but why? It seems something big has happened that has led them to believe they can get out early. Their daughter Savannah has also been trying to get them out of prison since the day they were arrested. Keep reading to find out more. Todd and Julie Chrisley in federal prison. Todd and Julie Chrisley are currently in federal prison. The two of them were arrested for tax evasion and fraud. This is something they still have not owned up to. However, their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, has been fighting for their freedom. Julie has a resentencing hearing. However, she did not get any time shaved off of her sentence. Fans think this is due to her asking for so much and Savannah calling out the judge. In fact, she got more probation time out of the hearing. Her lawyers blame it on her fame and the judge wanting to make a point. Why they have hope for an early release. Todd and Julie Chrisley are now hopeful for an early release. This is since Donald Trump was elected as the new president of the United States. Fans do not think this is going to be the case, though. They think the Chrisleys are nowhere close to being a priority on Trump's to-do list. It seems that the entire family thinks Donald Trump is going to let them out of prison early. However, this has not been confirmed by Trump himself or anyone else. Fans seem to think the family is delusional for thinking this. People think he has a lot more to worry about than getting the Chrisleys out of prison. For nearly 2 years, Todd and Julie Chrisley have lived behind prison walls. Him in Pensacola, Florida, her nearly 600 miles away in Lexington, Kentucky. Once the glamorous stars of Chrisley Knows Best, the couple who flaunted designer wardrobes, southern sass, and an unshakable family bond now wear prison-issued khakis and answer to numbers instead of names. But a fresh wave of optimism has rippled through the Chrisley camp, thanks to a series of unexpected developments that may just crack open the door to early freedom. It all began with a single document filed quietly in the Southern District Court, an obscure motion few noticed at first. But for the Chrisleys' legal team, it was a spark in the darkness. Filed by a coalition of prison reform advocates and spearheaded by a former U.S. attorney turned whistleblower, the motion outlined a growing concern over procedural irregularities in several high-profile tax and fraud cases, including the Chrisleys. This document, paired with mounting public support, has rekindled hope where there was once only despair. A glimmer through the legal fog. Todd Chrisley's attorneys have long argued that his trial was clouded by inconsistencies and prejudicial preconceptions. Their claims, once dismissed as desperate noise, are now gaining traction. A retired federal judge who recently penned a legal review in the American Criminal Law Review, described the prosecution's handling of certain financial records as legally questionable and ethically gray. Julie Chrisley's representation, meanwhile, has zeroed in on a different target: her health. Diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disorder since her incarceration, Julie's condition has deteriorated under prison care. A recent report from an independent medical watchdog confirmed that inmates with similar diagnoses were granted compassionate early release under the First Step Act, a law designed to offer rehabilitation and relief for nonviolent federal offenders. The Chrisleys' legal team has woven these threads into a new petition for early release, citing the couple's nonviolent convictions, model inmate behavior, and the deteriorating health of Julie. The petition has already passed its first hurdle, being accepted for formal review by the Office of the Pardon Attorney. For the first time, there's official movement behind their plea. Savannah's relentless advocacy. Outside prison walls, Todd and Julie's daughter, Savannah Chrisley, has become their fiercest advocate and the face of their public campaign. She's no longer just the witty blonde daughter from reality TV. Savannah has morphed into a polished media personality, appearing on political podcasts, speaking at prison reform panels, and making guest appearances on cable news. Her message is consistent. Her parents were unfairly portrayed, wrongly sentenced, moment during her appearance on The View. Savannah fought back tears as she read a letter her mother wrote from prison, describing missing birthdays, aching joints, and the sound of the chapel bell at night. My mom's body is breaking down. My dad has become a spiritual counselor to other inmates. They're not threats to society. They're proof that people can grow, she said. Savannah also recently launched the Justice for Chrisley's Foundation, partnering with organizations that focus on sentencing reform and prison wellness. With each passing week, public sentiment seems to be shifting, especially among fans who once tuned in weekly to see the family's antics and now send handwritten letters to prison postboxes in Florida and Kentucky. Inside the walls, a reputation rebuilt. Word from both federal facilities confirms that Todd and Julie have taken their sentences not as punishment, but as purpose. Todd now leads faith-based mentorship groups, helping younger inmates navigate fatherhood and faith. Prison guards have unofficially dubbed him the pastor, noting his calm presence during even the most chaotic moments on the yard. Julie, on the other hand, has created a women's support circle called Wings of Grace, providing emotional support and guidance to other inmates battling illness or separation from children. She's taken sewing and meditation classes, and more recently began working in the prison's library, where she's helped organize GED prep workshops. Their transformation has not gone unnoticed. Both facilities have issued glowing reports to the Bureau of Prisons, recommending them for the Reduced Time Earned Time Credits program. If approved, this program could reduce their remaining sentences by over a year each. Combined with good behavior and other earned credits, early release in late 2026 is no longer fantasy. It's a very real possibility. Washington whispers and a political shift. Adding even more fuel to the Chrisley fire is a shift in the national conversation around nonviolent offenders and prison overcrowding. A newly elected senator from Georgia, who ran partly on a platform of criminal justice reform, recently cited the Chrisley's case during a Senate hearing. We have families torn apart not by violence, but by systemic injustice and outdated sentencing guidelines, he said. With the 2026 elections looming, both Republicans and Democrats are racing to champion bipartisan reform bills. Todd and Julie's case, high profile, emotionally resonant, and legally complex, has become a sort of banner case for change. Behind closed doors, advisors whisper that the White House may quietly support select clemency cases to signal their dedication to reform. A family reunited? As the petitions make their way through Washington and the Bureau of Prisons recalculates credits, the Chrisley family dares to dream. Savannah has begun house hunting in Tennessee, aiming to build a peaceful home for the day her parents walk free. Chase, once aloof, is now regularly visiting Todd and helping with legal strategy. Even Nanny Faye, Todd's beloved mother, has joined in the fight, her feisty spirit undimmed by age. In a recent letter, Todd wrote, "I believe God has a plan, and maybe that plan involves us coming home sooner than the world expected." Julie echoed the sentiment in her own message to Savannah. "We were broken, but maybe this is how we rebuild, not just for us, but for others who are watching." Hope, once a fragile flicker, now burns steadily for the Chrisleys. Whether through reform, compassion, or divine intervention, they may soon find the gates swinging open, not just toward freedom, but toward redemption.